Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Godswill Akpabio, and the MD of the Nddc, Professor Ponde, have been summoned by the House Committee probing the spendings of the Commission. And yet more allegations continue to fly in on the spendings of the Nddc. Some scholars on Nddc scholarship speak to Channels Television, and we dwell on some of the issues raised tonight. Hello everyone and welcome to the program. This is Politics Today live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Wakimbalo in Lagos. Well, to our conversation for tonight, the House Committee on the Niger Delta Development Commission today continued with its public hearing in a probe of the spendings of the Nddc. At the hearing, the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Godswill Akpabio, has been asked to appear before the House of Representatives Committee on Monday, July the 20th, 2020, to answer questions. He was summoned alongside the acting managing director of the agency, Professor Daniel Ponde, who was also asked to reappear unfailingly on Monday after walking out of the proceedings yesterday. The decision to summon both men follows fresh revelations that emerged during today's session. And one of those that raised fresh issues is the former acting managing director of the commission, Dr. Joy Nune, who alleges that contracts were awarded to companies not registered, just as many companies were awarded contracts for one project. She also alleges that files in the Nddc went missing when the project verification process by the IMC commenced. Our presentation was made virtually. Take a listen to part of our presentation.
Contracts were given out to some companies that were not registered. Some companies got registered after they were awarded the contract. 2, in some cases, contracts were awarded before the designs were given. So you found out that most of the projects were abandoned. And the most notorious one was that during that exercise, we saw like there were situations where you had 10 to 15 companies having IPCs for the same project. So, Road Peter on Street 5, 2 kilometers. There will be 15 companies that have been awarded that same contract. How do you afford that? I had sent out a memo that no file should be taken out of the commission. You'll be glad to hear, sir, that as soon as I sent out that memo, files were taken out by the EDP and the EDF. No. Mr. Akpabio admitted that he had called them to return the files. I'm calling on the Nigerian police to please investigate and charge Senator Akpabio in accordance with the provisions of the Criminal Code Act. 1, for stealing the files of the Nddc for the businesses and contracts that he has not executed. 2.
But the Minister of the Niger Delta Affairs, Senator Godswill Akpabio, has been reacting to some of the comments made by Dr. Joy Nune. In a statement released by the office of the minister today, in part, the minister's office says that the Honorable Minister also finds appalling that Mrs. Nune never deemed it fit to report the alleged incident to the police at the earliest opportunity she had before, during, or after the tenure as the acting MD on 17th February 2020. If indeed the allegation was true, waiting till July 10th and 13th, 2020, when the National Assembly appears to be probing some of her actions as the acting managing director of the Interim Management Committee, exposes her motive, especially at a time when the momentum for the forensic audit. The office of the minister went further to say investigation of the NDC is heating up and the truth is about to be unveiled for all to see. The critical question is, who is afraid of the forensic audit at the NDC and who is afraid of the truth? Over the last few days, since we laid our hands on this issue of Nddc, issues of the students on scholarship by the Nddc have come up, and today we spoke with 4 of those students who have one issue or the other about the status of their study abroad. Take a listen to them.
No, I am doing a master's in law. Inoma is doing a PhD. And all of us, none of us have gotten any of the monies from the Niger Delta Development Commission. People resumed in September, some resumed in January. Nobody has received any payment from the commission. No payments. The schools have written countless emails to the Nddc. The Nddc has not had the courtesy to return or to reply any of the emails from the institutions. The institutions are fed up, and as of now, they have transferred the tuition debt to the students themselves. I for one, I have to 28th of July, which is in 11 days, to pay my tuition or my studentship will get suspended.
Well, Shegun, it's a fortunate situation we're finding ourselves, a very difficult one at that. And it's unfortunate that we've gotten to this point. Well, I'm studying cybersecurity at the Montfort University, Leicester. I'm also doing my master's. For me, it's been a tale of horror, if I would say, because we were surviving before the COVID-19 came in. We were doing many jobs to survive, but when everything got shut down, for me, it became so difficult. Shegun, I had to write to the agency in charge of my accommodation to see if they can actually suspend my payment of my rent for a little time, which they refused, because according to them, people will have to still pay bills in that accommodation even if I stay there for free. They haven't paid they haven't paid anything regarding my tuition. As a matter of fact, I have received 3 mails. 3. The other one I received, I had to write to the school telling them, look, there's a change of management in Nddc. That is why they have not been able to pay. I was making excuses. The last one I had this month, I wrote to them, and because somehow one of our colleagues got the number of the IMC, the MD of the Internal Management Committee of Nddc, and he assured us at some point through WhatsApp, through my colleague, he informed us that, look, I had a chat with the MD, and he said it will be 2-3 weeks' time. No, I relied on that information, and I told the school to give me 1 month. And she goes, that 1 month will expire by Wednesday next week. No, and I don't know what to do.
Well, in our own case, from the letter that we were giving, they're supposed to be paying our fees for 3 years, and it's quite disheartening that we're going to wait for an entire year to get our fees paid for the first year. And then we'll start fighting again for the next one. And then we'll fight again for the next one, at which point the university will no longer trust us or believe that our word is good for anything. It's so painful. Some of us are mothers. Some mothers left their children because the Nddc promised that as soon as we got here and opened accounts, they were going to send us the monies for our upkeep and then pay the school fees. But unfortunately, it's almost a year now and nothing has been paid. So many people are suffering, in very different ways, and it's so painful to me that I'm going to be suffering for another 3 years. The university keeps sending me these emails asking me to pay up because I came here with a sponsorship and it's no longer working because something sinister actually happens with the Nddc. They send these scholars out and then they cut all communication with us. You're not going to be able to reach them. All the email addresses that we received that we're supposed to contact them with, you send emails and nobody responds. The schools send their own emails and nobody responds to the schools. So obviously, the school is going to think that something strange is going on here. We're being looked at as maybe criminals, liars, because we said somebody is sponsoring us. And then it's not just the school, it's the UK government. What happens if the school gets tired? The school is sponsoring you to be here. And the school says, we can't trust this person. We're not sure that anybody's going to pay their fees. And then the school takes your name to the home office. What happens then? Some of us will be deported. We could be asked to leave the country because, we're liars, we're criminals. Nobody's paying.
The academic year was supposed to commence last year, September 2019. But the funds, the takeoff grant that wasn't given to us, Nddc never remitted any takeoff grants to any of the scholars. Most of the scholars that are in the UK and the US studying today, they went out of their way to source for funds outside to be able to travel. And I wasn't that lucky. That I don't have any political associates because there's this news that is online that most of the scholars either political associates or they have somebody in the board or something. I don't know anybody from anywhere, and I came in on my own, and if I had known someone, I don't think I would still be in Nigeria. Even when I went to the board to seek for financial assistance from part of my scholarship award money, I was actually not given any response up till this minute, up till this moment. Actually, I actually lost my first. I lost my first admission before I got the new one. So the admission is still valid, very very valid. I have been communicating with them. It's just the sponsorship that is the problem right now.
Okay.
And
So
unfortunately, the NDDC are not responding. They're not responding to our emails. They're not responding to all our messages on the media. Nobody is willing to call us. We are a number of us in Nigeria, and we are willing to show ourselves with our proofs. But nobody. This is my letter. This is my award letter. None of the NDDC members are even ready to even attend to us or even hear us out. We even begged them to call us. We are not ghost scholars. We are alive. We are humans.
you heard some of them there. That interview is actually longer than that. You can catch it on our YouTube, on our website also. Stay with us right here on Channels Television. Let's dig more into these issues that have been raised by these students. These are just 4 of the several of them who are making complaint and have approached Channels Television about this issue. We're bringing again Mr. Kolawole Johnson, who has been bringing forward some allegations against the Nddc of huge financial misspending. He joins us from our Abuja studio, and as well as Ms. Esther Uzoma, a lawyer and rights activist, who also might as well be able to give us answers, at least from the IMC point of view, and let's get some clarity in some of the issues that have been raised tonight. Thank you so much, gentlemen and lady. Let me begin with you, Mr. Kolawole Johnson. I know it's been a long day for you, and you've raised the issue of the students that went on the scholarship of the NDDC. What do you have as regarding this? Because we heard Dr. Ojugbo said that they visited some of these students overseas.
Well, you know, Sheon, you fight a battle to a point that if you're not careful, you may destroy the cause for which you're fighting.
That's right.
So I want to be careful, you know, how I go about these henceforth. I think there should be a closure to this. For me, this weekend I'm closing this. We have done so much on this, and I don't think I want to start going over again on those things. The world knows the truth already. We're glad that the president listened to us, and he released a statement yesterday that was extremely satisfactory for us, that the government will get to the root of it. So, perfectly you know that there was no visit to those guys, but I just want to leave those things now, and let's see the way forward. And what is the way forward? The students are crying. We need to just come to their aid almost immediately. And the same thing I said at the House of Reps today, that we must be able to come to their aid as soon as possible. This is not the kind of, you know, intervention that will require too many bureaucracy passing from one table to another. We need to just, you know, quit the dilly-dally and just do something very quickly for these students. If it will mean that on Monday, when the MD appears, that concessions will be given for the agency or the commission to make payment to these students, I'm very sure that they have, you know, they have the list of these guys. So they should just do something as soon as possible.
Sorry, let me quickly ask you. In the documents that you have and in the earlier conversations, you spoke about monies being devoted for scholarship students. Are there monies, and how much do you think that they are devoted?
Well, I don't know the exact amount, but I think in the budget, in the study of the budget some few months back, I think we saw maybe 236 million or three something million. I'm not too sure of that, but I just think at this stage, what these guys need is not about, we can't, you know, this quibbles going back and forth, this balderdash, we keep, you know, this flip and doodle should just stop, and we should do something for them. For me, I think we're satisfied that our organization brought this to the fore. We fought it to a point, to a very, this has taken a whole lot from us. You need to understand that, you know, we're also human. it got to
All
the
right.
point that the board lost interest virtually in this course for me, and I was almost abandoned. But for the fact that integrity and all that, they stood with me. And so for now, we want to just close this by saying this, that the world has heard us, and if this is the first thing we must achieve with our agitation, we must do something. We must
All
get
right.
these guys
So
paid. I don't want
let's go on break. Yeah. So, but when we come back from the break, we hear from Ms. Uzoma on this matter and some of the issues that have been raised today. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thank you so much, everyone. Let's get back to the conversation. Mr. Kalawale Johnson has been speaking with us, and one of those who have brought up several allegations against the Nddc about the spendings, and also Ms. Esther Uzoma, a lawyer and rights activist. Let me get Ms. Uzoma to react to some of the issues, especially that of the students, some of whom are saying that they are stranded in outside of the country. Some of them are also stranded in Nigeria and not yet able to resume their studies overseas. But from the point of view of the IMC, is there any explanation to the reasons why these students should be stranded?
How would I know, Shehu? How would I know? I do not know the internal workings of the IMC. I'm an independent legal practitioner, So, however, just to say that Nigeria should stand behind her own. All right. You see, it's very easy, to lose, the whole issue. Like my colleague, my fellow discussant just said, let's not lose this cause. All right. If the federal government of Nigeria sends, citizens outside this country for a scholarship, they should stand by their own. Nigeria should stand by its citizens, whether they are outside or in Nigeria, just like you said. But if eventually, we will raise the question, why are we sending our citizens outside to get scholarships? Perhaps that validates the struggle by ASU. ASU has been struggling, shouting, oh, our universities. But eventually, those issues will come to question. But right now, I sympathize fully with this, with Nigerian students who are stranded abroad. Nigeria should stand by her own. We shouldn't abandon. That's the whole idea of statehood. That you have somebody somewhere who's got your back. Generally, that's my take.
The question is that monies have been devoted for this cause to send these students abroad. They've left, and they said that there's been a back and forth with the Nddc. And we're hearing also that the Nddc said, we've made some moves, but yet these students are not getting what they're supposed to get to further their studies, and the schools are concerned and writing them.
Well, now, you see, if we have to put it in context, therefore, are they, generally, Nddc has functioned over the years. If the context is that it is this particular IMC or perhaps the one before it, that is responsible for that, then these are emerging issues, all right? The students, I listened to all of them, how they have tried to reach out, but I didn't hear any time frame. So let us put it in context. I would not want to, just jump into the fray and say, oh, you did bad. Is it in the context of the ongoing investigation? If it is in the context of ongoing investigation, then it has to be, let's subject it to forensics. All right, which forensics again is the root, for me, is the root of all the brouhaha, the earthquake, the tsunami. Say, listen, let's conduct an audit. So we have to put it in context. Nigeria is a state that is gasping for breath. If it is Nddc, is it our criminal justice system, prosecutorial agencies, everywhere? Nigeria is a country that is presently convulsing. There are issues in all sectors, all right, we see, all sectors of Nigeria convulsing. So, just so that we don't lose sight of it, eyes on the ball, we have to contextualize it and appreciate it. But Nigeria should stand behind our citizens. You can't send some children abroad and just abandon them there.
So let me bring back Mr. Johnson. So the minister said that the investigation of the NDDC is heating up and the truth is about to be unveiled for us all to see. The critical question is, who is afraid of the forensic audit at the NDDC? Who is afraid of the truth? I know you have raised issue about the budget of the NDDC. Is this the problem? Is anyone afraid of the truth about the forensic audit of the NDDC?
Sure, I think, as much as I just want to withdraw from these, see, we got facts, and a lot of times I'm very mindful of the fact that this is Nigeria, where you need to also, tread very carefully. But we said at the hearing today that what is going on, what is happening on the forensic auditing? I mean, we laid the truth bare today. I spoke, and thank God, I also saw Dr. Joy, Nunes spoke on the issue. These are the facts. The minister came into office in August. The following day, 24 hours after or less, the first thing he did was to write to the COS, Chief of Staff then, to request for the supervision of NDDC. And a few weeks after, he was granted the power of the president. And October 25th, he wrote a letter to the president requesting that an IMC be set up to oversee the forensic auditing that will last, for 6 months. And the IMC came into office October 29th. It took the IMC to about 3 months after, February, to be able to advertise or to be able to get the lead consultant. That was normally just to get, what the forensic auditors are done. If they have done their job, rather. Then for months after, nothing was done. It was in May. I have said this over and again. It was in May when the National Assembly, sought to probe the commission that they rushed to BPP weeks after to seek waiver, to seek certificate of no objection, to procure auditors. And in this case, the minister handpicked the auditors themselves. I am careful not to call them forensic auditors because today, for the first time, I learned that there might not be any forensic auditors among the list. If the minister just handpicked auditors in the month of May, towards the end of May, what? And that was after six months after they got to the office, when they should have finished the entire process. Now, should that not tell us something? That they are hiding under forensic audit to perpetrate what some have called forensic looting. So for me, they should stop this deception that some people are afraid of the forensic. And by the way, we have advocated that Mr. President should please give us independent forensic auditors to audit that place. See, the hunter today will become the hunted, I tell you. And I go to the budget process that you just mentioned. See, when you have facts and figures, a lot of times you just want to smile off, when you hear some things in the public space. The minister advocated for a better budgeting process. I support this wholeheartedly. As a matter of fact, one thing that we should get right after all these struggles for us is a better budgeting process for the Nigerian Delta people. We should have needs assessment placed first. Not some people sit in their office and just send what should be in the budget. Would the minister say that he did not send people to send items for the budget to National Assembly? Did Dr. Joy not mention it? That, well, I don't want to go into that full details. Where they sent to the National Assembly to put budget for DSS, some billions, some for police billions, some from the villa. So much that one of the members of the team went on TV to say some people removed Mr. President budget. Project. Simply because some did not enter the books. See, some things we wanted to do, we could not do it. Because I was expecting that, for example, IMC raised an issue that the chairman should step down. At least, maybe for the time they are there. This is an idea. The chairman has presided over the 2 or 3 days. When they are there, if they said, okay, step aside for another person to take over, you should take over. So some things will be sweeter in amount to say, but I don't think they have managed that very well.
Mr. Johnson,
for me,
Mr. Johnson,
let's come on that.
Let's speak on the issue of the forensic. Then I want to also come back to the issue of the budget. Ms. Uzoma, weigh in, because you heard what Mr. Johnson said about the forensic. Do you agree with him? What he said, his statement about the issue of the forensic and the authenticity of the forensics?
Facts are sacrosanct. I do not know the source of his information. Like we say in law, a litigant is persuaded by what he knows or what she knows. But if we must stick to what is in the public view, all right, I don't know what he knows. If we must stick with what is in the public domain, it's forensics. You see, when you file a civil matter or indeed a criminal matter in court in this country, sometimes I just concluded one that took 12 years. And within that 12 years, after 12 years, an accused person, who we call a defendant now, was set free. But all those while they were saying, oh, nothing is going on, nothing is going on. I just, if you place it, the interim management committee, perhaps the only thing they were doing was not the forensics. Niger Delta Commission did not
Gentlemen and lady,
because they wanted to do forensics.
All right. So, in essence, are you saying, Ms. Uzoma, that really people are afraid of the forensic, like the minister said? Because he said the forensic is not genuine.
In my opinion. No, what I mean is that if today, for instance, Accountant General accused them, the Chief Accounting Officer said that these monies were lost between 2019 and 2020. And these are information in the public domain. I don't have extraordinary, or further information like Kola. And then the House of Rep is saying between 4 months. Okay? And they are saying, no. You are the chairman. You also executed contracts in Nddc. You cannot conduct this hearing. Did they not conduct a hearing in the Senate? Excuse me. If they say you cannot because you executed contract, please do have the integrity to step aside. The law, the constitutional provision for you to regulate your proceedings does not permit you to breach the Constitution.
So, Ms. Uzoma, just a moment, Ms. Uzoma. Ms. Uzoma, just a moment. This information is for our viewers. You might be wondering, we're just outside of the boundary of the usual timing of the program because of the special nature of what the conversation for tonight. We might be spending some more minutes on the program because of these issues that a lot of Nigerians are having interest in. So let me go back to Mr. Johnson. The forensic, according to the president, is what the president ordered. If you say that the forensic may not be genuine, then how do we go about it? Because the president wanted a speedy end to the investigation. Is that a trouble?
I think I'd like to just make a clarification. She just said that they said the chairman executed contract. I think what is in the public space that he was accused of, they said he requested for payment that they did not pay him. They didn't say he executed contract. And for us,
that's premium times.
No, the executive director, Project Dr. Cairo, said that. And for us, I have told the IMC, please give us document, let us fight this. That's so that you don't think that we are only fighting you. We want to fight both sides. So if this allegation is correct and true, bring us document, just give it to us. Give it to us and let's take this over. So for me, as long as they can't do that, as long as they cannot prove that, I will take that allegation as blackmail. However, despite that, it behoves on the chairman, even after getting the confidence of the members, that, okay, for these people who are saying that they can't stand, that they cannot present before him, let him step aside. There are other members there who can take over. Maybe for maybe one day go, he can take over again and run.
Mr. Johnson,
but coming to this, that
the letter on that screen, yeah, you raised an issue about this letter on the screen and what the minister transmitted to the federal government, to the president, about the issue of the forensic, because the forensic is at the heart of all of this matter. For you, what do you think is important for the president to know about this forensic, for example?
There is no forensic going on. There is no forensic audit ongoing. I can tell you that wholeheartedly. Today, I know more after listening to the former MD. For me, before now, well, I said clearly that from the available information that we learned that not much had been done. Clearly, we kept saying that it was in May, 6 months after. That should have been the period. In fact, that is after the expiration of the period the forensic audit should have taken. It was after that they rushed to BPP. In fact, 6 months. If they came in October, November, December, January, February, March, April. By April, the 6 months they gave was over. Yet there was no
Mr.
forensic
Johnson.
auditors in place. They've not even procured them. It was in in May that they rushed to BPP, I repeat, to go get waiver, to go
Mr.
get
Johnson,
certificate of no
yeah,
fault.
because we're then out of the timing that we have been allotted. So let me allow Ms. Uzoma to react to what we have said. Just in 20 seconds, we need to close now. In 20 seconds, react. He said there is no forensic. In 20 seconds, because we need to go now.
No. You see, let's not overshoot. All right, he's saying that categorically there's no forensic. You know, he can't judge that. That is the problem. You cannot judge that. Let the facts come out and then we decide. How can you say? Because perhaps you obtained documents in the past and then you say, at least you said I have obtained the waiver. There are preliminaries. To say categorically there's no forensics, I doubt if you can. I doubt. I beg to differ. And then for you to also say that let them bring their documents, that what they are saying is that is
Mrs. Uzoma, we're out of time now. We need to go now, but I must sincerely thank both of you, Mr. Kolawole Johnson and Miss Esther Uzoma. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. But that's how we leave it, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Sean Kimale.